Actress Rachel McAdams first found fame playing a teen bully in the comedy Mean Girls. But it was her performance in the epic romance, The Notebook, that captured the hearts of audiences across the world. Rachel has gone on to become one of the most sought-after leading ladies on the big screen. While her sister Kayleen McAdams is a talented and trusted makeup artist for television and movie stars alike, including, of course, her sister Rachel. Kayleen and Rachel grew up in Ontario, Canada, where Rachel still lives. They're meeting up in New York City to begin their journey.
We're about 3.5, almost 4 years apart. I'm older, she's younger. And
we do have a younger brother as well, who's about a year younger than I am.
Kayleen has been a detective of sorts her whole life. She was always very inquisitive, and if there's a secret around, she wants the answer.
Rachel's much more like the romantic. Yeah.
Right. Guilty.
Our parents are Lance and Sandra McAdams, and my mom's maiden name's Gail, Sandra Gail, and they were both born in Canada. Our dad's one of 10, so he comes from a really big family, and we were very close to them growing up. But, you know, when I look to the maternal side and even try and hazard a guess, I really don't know at all.
My mother's parents died when she was in her early 30s, so a lot was lost then, I think. Her mother was Eileen Bell, and her father was Harold Gale. He was in the Air Force. He fixed planes that went down during the Battle of Britain, and
I thought he was a pilot, and Rachel thinks he was an engineer.
No, a mechanic.
Oh, a mechanic. This is a sister dynamic of, we know different stories, we have different versions. Our motivation for doing this is multi-layered of all the different things that we want to know. You know, we really want to know about Canada and our roots and that. We also want to create more of a connection for our mom to be able to know these things about her family. And, you know, family is very important to our mom too. And I think, you know, it would really help her to be able to put more of the pieces of the puzzle together. All right. Hi, Mom. Well, we got the package that you sent us.
Oh, did ya?
Yeah.
Yes, we have it right here in our hot little hands.
We can't wait to open it. Drum roll.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so we have Mother's family tree, the Gale Bell family tree. So we start with us, Rachel and Kayleen, and then there's you, Sandra Gale, and then your parents were Eileen Maud Bell and Harold Gowan Gale.
So just to clear this up, because Rachel and I have different ideas, was he a pilot or was he a mechanic?
No, he was a mechanic. He did the work on the planes. So he fixed the planes and worked on the planes.
Okay.
And now we're looking at a photo of two people.
An older couple, great-grandpa William and Maud Gale.
In Polperro, England.
No, my grandparents, your great-grandparents.
Right.
Where in England did they live?
Well, they were originally from Plymouth. That's where your grandfather, Gale, was born. During the war, your great-grandfather, he was in the Royal Navy.
So, and that's as far as we know.
That's as far as we know.
So on the paternal side of our mother's family tree, we have her father, Harold Gowan Gale, and his parents were William Gale, our great-grandfather, and Beatrice Maud Sedgemore.
I really am very curious about anything on that side of the family. It would be wonderful to know.
So, Mom, where do you recommend that we should start looking for more information?
Well, I think you should probably start in Plymouth, England.
Thank you, Mom.
Thanks, Mom.
It's amazing to be so close to these answers, you know, that they're just, you know, looming ahead. Not being able to go back very far just feels, I've always felt a bit incomplete in that way. So I think this will be very empowering. I definitely think this journey is way more rich and satisfying because I get to do it with my sister.
Our mom told us that her father was born in Plymouth, England, so we're going to start our adventure there.
Kayleen and I are meeting with genealogist Paul Blake at the Plymouth Central Library in England. We've asked him to research anything he can find about our mother's grandparents because we know so little about them, and we just can't wait to find out more. Hi, Paul.
Yeah. Hello, Paul.
Nice to meet you. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Now, the first thing I've managed to find for you is the marriage of your great-grandparents. So I've got a copy of that certificate here for you to have a look at.
Wow. So it's the marriage certificate of William Gale and Beatrice Maud Sedgemore,
Our great-grandparents.
and they were married November 16th, 1910.
And he was an engine room artificer?
Well, this was a rank in the Royal Navy. He would have worked in the engine room as a mechanic. He was one of the people who actually made the ship run. So, essential on board ship.
We have his father's
His father,
name.
yes, your great-great-grandfather. Yes.
It's William Henry Creeber Gale. It looks like he was also in the Royal Navy, too.
Yes, now this actually says engineer captain RN Royal Navy.
And our grandfather was an engineer in the Air Force. Right.
Any other information?
Yes. I started by having a look at the General Register, and yes, we came up trumps. So here is William Henry Grieber's birth certificate.
This is so neat.
The 2nd of January, 1850. So then it says his father's name was William Gale, so another William, and his mother was Elizabeth Gale, formerly Creeber.
So now we know that our 2 times great-grandfather was William Henry Creeber Gale, and his parents, our 3 times great-grandparents, were Elizabeth Creeber and a 3rd William, William Gale.
Occupation of father, servant.
What
Interesting.
kind of
So it could-
servant would he have been?
Well, probably the best thing to do is to have a look at Ancestry for the census.
Ancestry.com? Okay.
So we know his name was William Gale, so we can start putting that in.
William Gale.
The next thing, let's type servant into that keyword box. Shall I see what comes up?
Okay.
Census from 1851. So this would have been 1 year after William and Elizabeth's son was born.
That's right.
See right there?
Looks like him.
William Gale. Relation to head of family, a servant, and rank, profession, or occupation, footman. Oh, it's very Downton Abbey.
And the first column there, you've got the actual, the name of the house where the family were living and where he was a footman.
Is that one? Origin?
And it's Bovisand House.
Bovisand House.
Yes. So you've now got him, it's your great-great-great-grandfather, William Gale, living in a household with a few other servants by the look of it.
Would he have been able to have his family with him?
It doesn't look as though they're there, does it? Very good question. Bovisand itself is a fairly picturesque part of Devon, just down the road, just a few miles from here. And you'll be pleased to know that Bovisand House still stands.